Triple M rocks the NRL 24/7 through the Triple M app. Thanks to Ream. Steady, hot and strong. Install a Ream.
Mitchell Pearce, though, is on the phone from the beautiful Hunter Valley region to talk about the Knights' big win last night. Mitchell Pearce, welcome to the Sunday Sin Bin.
Hey, boys.
Nice to speak to you after all this time, mate. You're back. Caelan's back. It's going to be a bright end of the season for the Newcastle Knights.
Well, that's the plan, mate. Yeah. So, obviously we had a really good win last night. I thought the most impressive thing was for the last two performances defensively, we got a bit of our resilience back that's been missing. So that was the big highlight. And then obviously, we were able to put on some points last night and got a bit more flow to our attack. Still plenty of improvement, but look, it keeps us in the hunt for the bottom part of the 8, and we just got to try and keep getting on a roll now.
Yeah, and the positive, I think, Mitch, too, is that you've got that spine now, yourself and Caelan and Jake Clifford there together, and you're only like you're in ninth position, so you're ready, you're poised to jump, aren't you?
Yeah, we're in ninth, but I think we're pretty much on the same points as 7th and 8th, or at least 8th.
Yeah, Sharks are on 14, you're on 14, and the Cowboys are behind you on points differential, but are also on 14. But yeah, and then Saints are 2 points ahead, but I'll tell you what, they might be going for a bit of a fall after recent events.
Yeah, and we got the bye this week, so it was a 4-point win for us. So that's obviously a big bonus from the win yesterday. But look, we've had a tough year through obviously injuries and blooding a lot of young players in key positions and that type of stuff. It's not an excuse. You got to still find ways to win, but it is nice to finally have our spine back. And while me and KP have been out, we've done a lot of video together, and we wanted to come back and try and obviously take the team to a new level. Like I said, it wasn't perfect last night, but and also with Cliff coming as well. Clifford, he's added a really good voice for us and a lot of ideas himself. So if we can, as a spine, take control of the team and keep developing that part of the game, hopefully we can go on a good roll.
So, Mitch, can you just take us into those video sessions you and Ponga did? So neither of you are playing, you're both injured at the time. So what did you actually identify, were you able to work on, and what did you change in those video sessions you were doing?
Yeah, so me and Kay just sat down and watched a lot of our best footy, what suits, what's worked for us when we played our best footy together. A lot of it was around positioning, getting each other in the best positions on the field, and then getting the team to play the right style that allows us to sort of get our best imprint on the sets. And like I said, though, Clifford's, he's been huge, mate. Obviously watched him from afar. I thought he played some really good footy at the Cowboys before he came to us, but he's a really smart footy brain for a young guy, and he's got a really good temperament, and he's a risk taker. He likes, he backs himself. He puts himself in really good positions to come up with good plays. So with the three of us there, we're able to, I think we'll be able to have a style that we can keep evolving as the year goes on.
So all that work was done while injured. How much last night did you see the immediate benefit of that?
Yeah, I think we saw a big improvement straight away. Look, someone like Caelan he does things that other players can't. You see your Tedesco's and Turbos, the way they play, and they add their little spice to the game. Caelan's no different, just little things like last night with his busyness around the ruck and his ability to play ad-lib. He sees things before everyone else does. And as a half, it's so refreshing because you're obviously you play your systems and you play your different types of plays. But when you got a guy like KP that can play ad-lib, it just breaks your game open. So, that's something we've worked hard at implementing into the team. And, I think the forwards lay a good platform for us. So we just got to capitalise off the back of that going forward.
Mitch, you played over 300 NRL games now. In terms of when you look at the competition, take the Knights out of it for the time being, who is the side that everybody's got to beat leading into the finals?
Yeah, Hoops, I reckon I still think Melbourne's the benchmark. I know Penrith's been unbelievable and they're obviously a benchmark as well, but I watched Melbourne the other night, the way they dismantled the Roosters, and they just keep delivering. And I love the way they play. They just play such a consistent style of footy, and they just know how to win. So, them and Penrith are definitely the benchmark. And I won't lie, when you watch your video when you're out, it's a lot of the styles that they play is a sort of style that I think everyone's striving to play. So that's why they're the benchmark.
Why is it so hard for some of the sides below them on the ladder to try and implement what they can do?
I think a fair bit of it's obviously personnel, having the right balance. I think you spoke about the spine. I think having a consistent spine week to week, year to year makes a massive difference. You're able to actually build on stuff, So you see the teams that are up the top, they're generally the sides that have consistency in key positions, and then you're not going into review trying to start from the bottom up and rebuild your game. You're adding stuff all the time, and that only comes through consistency. So, hopefully we can keep our troops on the field. And the other side of the game is defence. Obviously, that's the biggest part. And, those top sides are always the top defensive teams as well. And we need to keep improving in that area as well.
Yeah, and on the flip side of it, so you mentioned, great win last night. You put a score on the Cowboys, the bye, so effectively it's a 4-point victory, and then you've got Melbourne. So how do you try and beat the Storm? Essentially, how can you try and break down the juggernaut that is Melbourne?
I'll have to have a look this week, Hoops, to start with, but I think you got to take risks. The way the game's going now, and it's been really. It's been a real change for me, playing through, obviously, for the last, fair while now. The game as a half has gone through a real transition. I think for a period there, Cooper Cronk, Cam Smith set the real benchmark of that game management style of footy where it was an arm wrestle and your end of your sets was so important, where I think the game with the rule change has taken a real change. It's a lot more around risk taking now, and if you're not taking those opportunities when they present themselves on those 6 agains, it can come back and bite you on the backside. So I think when you're playing your Melbournes, you got to complete well, you got to defend well, but you got to take risks. You got to take risks and come up with good attacks. So they're going to be a big challenge for us. But coming off 2 wins and under no illusions where we're at, it'll be a big game for us.
You talk about that change in the game, Mitch. Which do you prefer?
I really enjoy the style it is now. I think. Obviously, a lot of people having different comments on the way the game is, but I really enjoy it. It's like I said, being an older half, it really challenges you to come up with creative ideas going into games. And I've been lucky enough to play a few different styles. I remember back in 2010, Brian Smith was our coach, and at the Roosters, we played a real, play what you see kind of type footy. And then I've sort of gone in different styles over the years where it's a lot more around arm wrestle, playing through your middles and kicking the corners. So it's been good for me to challenge myself to try and open my game up personally again. And, I think it's definitely bringing in smaller men back into the game and halves back into the game. So I really enjoy the way the game is now. I don't think we need to make any more changes, but I think it's good to what they've done.
What about all the criticisms that are getting levelled at the game now about the score blowouts and things like that? Do you have an explanation for why teams, there's such a big difference between the best and worst?
I think, I think it's a fine balance between, like I just spoke about having to play more footy. So the teams that attack really well and are able to play ad-lib and then play fast and flat and be able to take opportunities, or other teams that are generally wiping teams off the park. You look at Manly now. Look, you've got Cherry Evans, Kieran Foran, and obviously Turbo there. And when they get on the front foot, it's very hard to stop them. You see the same thing with Melbourne, but the balance is, as it always is defence. It's a defensive game. So the teams that have still got the ability to be able to transition into the defence better than others and still suffocate teams when they need to are the ones that are playing the best footy. The teams that can't do that, I think, are the ones down the bottom of the ladder.
So, Mitchell, you got a good association with the coach, Adam O'Brien. It would seem to me you fit, him coaching your guys, it's all moving in the right direction if you're all fit.
Look, I'm really confident with what we can get to. We've obviously missed the mark to start the year, which puts you under a fair bit of pressure as far as having to get a certain amount of wins to get where you want to. I mean, it's not ideal, but different reasons for that. One thing I know with Adam is he's a extremely hard worker. He's a great coach, and he's always willing to evolve. And I think you learn your most when you're having your down periods. And through that tough period, he kept the boys solid. He knew that if we start getting some troops back, we keep working on our game, that we should find some form. Look, we've only had 2 wins. I'm under no illusion where we're at, but I know with the right people there, which we've got, things will turn positive for us if we keep working hard.
Hey, Junior, do you have your fingers crossed, mate, for New South Wales selection in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, Gordy, I haven't really thought anything about it at all until obviously Nath went down, and then a few people mentioned a few things after the game that I was in contention again. So it feels like the same thing that's been going on for the last 15 years. But look, I'm not too sure. Look, if they came to me, I'd be stoked. Obviously, what an opportunity. But you know, obviously, Mitchy Moses has been putting some great footy together for a long time. Adam Reynolds has been quality. Yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens. I'm not sure what they're doing there.
How important is it to have those club combinations in Origin?
I think it's really important. Obviously, you saw the way Nathan and Jerome have transferred from club to rep footy so easily, just because it's such a short preparation, and just gives you more, you know, it just makes your tackle a lot cleaner when you all know what each other's game is. So, but yeah, what a team out. It's just been so good to sit back and watch us laugh at Queensland for once.
Gordon's upset.
Thanks, mate.
Good to catch up with you, Mitch. All the best for the rest of the year, mate.
Thanks, boys.
Triple M rocks the NRL 24/7 through the Triple M app. Thanks to Ream. Steady, hot and strong. Install a Ream.